I always knew I was going to be wealthy. On the run, today's topic, we talk about spend that check. And what better day than today on payday? One thing that I learned is you need to reinvest back into your business, reinvest back into you. At the end of the day, the best investment that you can make is the one into yourself. If you don't invest into you, if you don't invest into your business, nobody else will. Now, one thing I learned about being an entrepreneur, dealing with business, trying to grow and expand, is you're either two types of people. You're either a producer or you're a consumer. And you know, one thing that always fascinated me was I never saw Lamborghini, Ferrari, Rolex, Breitling, Bentley commercials on TV. I never really saw Louis Vuitton commercials on television, because the people that can afford these type of things, they're not sitting on their ass all day watching television. They're out in the real world building and producing. So producers are the ones out there creating revenue. They're out there creating power moves. They're out there actually creating income and making things happen. Consumers are the ones that are always buying things. They're the suckers. See, my mentor told me, he said, Austin, when you're playing a game of poker, if in the first 30 minutes you don't know who the sucker is, you're the sucker. Same thing, when you walk into a room, who's the sucker? Are you the sucker? Are you being sold, or are you selling? You're either two types of people in this world, right? You got to sell yourself to get a job, right? I love how people say, well, I'm not really a salesman. I don't like selling. Well, if you go get a girlfriend, if you go get a wife, you got to sell them on the belief of why they should be with you. If you go out there and get a job, you got to sell the person hiring you as to why you're a good employee and a good fit in that workplace. So spend that check. Today's topic. It's so important to understand that, you know, as America, I find it fascinating how we study the average. You know, the average American, the average person, the average man, the average woman, the average kid, the average person. We always study the average. Well, if you look at the averages, you know, I find some fascinating facts about how the average person doesn't read over one book per year. You know, the average CEO, the average millionaire reads multiple books per month. You know, when I first go into somebody's house, the first thing I look at is not their cars, is not their plasma screen TVs, is not their wardrobe, is not their jewelry, is not their pool. The first thing I look at when I go into somebody's house, the first thing I look for is their library. My mentor said, never trust a person that has a bigger TV than a library. So spend that check, reinvest back in yourself. How much money per paycheck are you willing to put back into yourself? How much money per year are you investing back into yourself? Going to seminars, going to conventions, going and getting mentorship, going and buying books, going and buying courses online. Guys, it's 2017. There's really no excuse for going out there and being able to self-educate yourself. See, formal education is gonna make you a living, but self-education is gonna make you rich, gonna make you wealthy. You know, one will make you a living, one will get you by in life, and the other, self-education, that's what you do for yourself. Nobody else is gonna come self-educate you. You literally have YouTube.com, YouTube University. I've been able to go out there and create a 7-figure income based upon the fact that I use SoundCloud, Google, YouTube. These are all free. And you can literally go learn so many things online just for free. But what are you willing to invest into yourself? What does the average American spend on clothes? They spend almost about $100 a month on clothes. Well, may not seem like a lot of money. There's a book called Made in America. It's by, how can I forget his name? Made in America, Sam Walton. One of the most successful, wealthiest businessmen, entrepreneurs, CEOs of all time. This book, he wrote this book on his deathbed, basically explaining all of the keys to success, everything he did his whole entire life, all the steps that he took to become successful. The book is $5. When Sam Walton died, he was worth about $180 billion to what our value is now. He died decades ago, so the equation and inflation's different, but $180 billion. That's worth more than Bezos, Zuckerberg, Buffett, Gates, all of these top entrepreneurs all put together almost. So you look at this, the book is $5. Most people want to go and buy a fidget spinner. Most people will spend $5 a day on fast food or a coffee or a drink. Things that aren't producing results. Those are liabilities. They're investing into things that rust, rot, or depreciate. That's one thing my mentor told me. Never invest into things that rust, rot, or depreciate. You go out for a sushi dinner, hang out with some friends, awesome. I used to love eating sushi. Sushi is really good. I love eating food. But when you buy that meal, the next morning you wake up, that food is already done. It's gone, never to be seen again, and you've just spent $25 on your meal going and grabbing a drink with some friends. You could have spent that $25 investing into books, investing into your branding, investing into Facebook ads, investing into outsourcing your anything. You can take your money and realize, where is my money going, right? It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep and about how much money you invest. See, smart people, they're not just saving their money, they're investing their money. The average person saves their money and then they spend what's left. The wealthy people, they invest their money and they save what's left. Big difference. So take your income, start going out there, reinvesting it back into your business. Little things, whether it's hiring an assistant. You know, as Robert Kiyosaki says, like, I'm not lazy. Like, there's a difference between being lazy and then being somebody who works more efficiently and effectively. So, for example, me having assistants, me having social media managers, me having employees, me having people around me to do like videography or any type of thing, it makes sense because then you can triple down and double down on what you're good at. So go out there and spend that check, baby. I see so many people making 6 figures. I see so many people making high 5-figure incomes, or even if you're new in the game, doesn't matter. The little things matter. You should almost be spending every single dime, especially if you're a startup entrepreneur. I see too many people, they live in this microwave mentality. They think that success is just like a Campbell's soup or a TV dinner. They just put into the microwave, they press 1 minute, 30 seconds, and it just comes out and their success is just done for them. No, your success is gonna be crock potted. Slow, stirred, cooked. It takes hours and hours and hours. That's how success is. That's how your success will be in anything you do. Whether if you want to be a basketball player, don't make excuses and be like, well, I live in the countryside, I don't live in LA, or I don't live in New York City, I don't live in Miami, I don't live near other ballers. You know, nobody goes and plays ball at my. You could be out here in Europe and you're in a country where nobody plays basketball. No excuses. Go do your research, use Google, use YouTube, download courses, go buy academies. Kobe Bryant, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, LeBron James, there's camps. Spend up, save all your money and go to a camp once a year to go to a 1 week camp of learning how to play basketball with the best basketball players in the entire world. That's simple. Go out there, buy books, buy a Phil Jackson book, buy a Michael Jordan book, go buy books on basketball, go reinvest back in yourself, go reinvest into a gym membership, a trainer, go spend that money back in. The more money you invest wisely, now I'm not saying just spend money to spend money on things that produce a positive ROI, whether it's literally an income, wealth, money, capital, revenue back into your pockets, or whether it's in your mindset. Guys, the most important thing you can do is invest in your education. My mentor told me every single year, Austin, you should be spending 30% or more on your education. Whether it's college, no, self-education. Self-education, 30% of your income. Because the more you learn, the more you earn. Just like Warren Buffett says. And let's say you're in network marketing. Guys, take that money, spend it back on your team. You are nothing without a team, most likely. Guys, that's what the most successful people in the world do. They build teams around them. And not just random people, their homies, their girls, their friends. No, they hire professional teams around them. And they level up and they outsource, they delegate. Whatever your weaknesses are, amazing. Go out there and be able to spend money on hiring people around you. Spend money on delegating your weaknesses. Graphic designer, branding, an assistant, whatever it may be, hiring an employee, going and spending money back into your business on every single dollar. That's the one thing I see so many people do. They live in a scarcity mindset where the more money they start making, this is what a lot of people do. Listen close. A lot of entrepreneurs, they'll start making a lot of money. They'll start making some good money. And what will happen is they'll have a scarcity mindset. They will want to control and hold on to that money. But let's look at this really quick. This is the mindset of an entrepreneur. Really quick, guys. This is all of the wealth in the world. Millions and billions and trillions of dollars. Here's you. And here's your potential. Here's your mindset and your capacity to hold that wealth and attract that wealth to you in abundance. So here, as you can see, here's the money, right? When you have an abundant mindset and you just let things go as they are, and you're not so controlling, you're not trying to hold on to the money, it stays there. You'll maintain what you have in the abundant mindset. But the second you try to control and hold on to the money you have, you lose it all. Make sense? So don't have a scarcity mindset. Go out there and be willing to understand that what you're investing will come back tenfold. With the scarcity mindset, people hold on to the money. They don't want to spend it. They don't want to pay people. They don't want to shell money out. They don't want to pay for certain things. Guys, the way to really become successful is, number one, to invest back into things like people, like yourself, like business, like your craft, like your skill set, like your brand, whatever it may be. But another thing is to invest without, it's not even an investment, it's just an investment in abundance. You're not even expecting an ROI. Too many times people are so analytical and they're like, well, I need an ROI back on this. If I invest into this person, well, if I pay for their ticket, or if I pay for this dinner, or if I pay for this. Little gestures, spend that check free willingly without expecting anything in return. And that's the definition of leadership. That's where things will attract you so fast in this world that you won't even be able to handle it. When you start putting money out there without the expectation of an ROI, without the expectation of somebody buying you a dinner back, or buying you a ticket back, or just because you spent money on somebody, or did something for somebody, or did something for your business, you expect it just to come back. Sometimes you gotta make those choices where you know that you're doing a good deed and you're going out there and doing your tithing. Guys, my mentor told me, you gotta tithe 10% of your income, whether it's charity, whether it's given away. So spend that check. I know most people, they go out there, they'll make $1,000 a month, and they won't even spend $200, $300, $400 back into their business, their education, their mindset, trainings, whatever it is to better themselves, whatever field you're in, whether it's going and investing into studio time. Guys, there's no excuse. Prince used to be the janitor at the studio just to get studio hours. And I see people out here all the time being like, well, I don't have a studio. I don't live in Los Angeles. I don't live in New York City. I can't go to the studio. But then again, Prince was a janitor cleaning toilets, cleaning sinks, cleaning bathrooms to trade hours for studio time. You either make excuses or you make money. Everyone's a millionaire. Make a million excuses, make $1 million. So invest back in yourself, invest back in your business, spend that check. I think one thing that's most important is to understand that when you start to open up, when you start to pull out your pockets more, when you start to shell out money more in the right mindset, effectively and efficiently, don't just shell money out because you're balling, or shell money out thinking that, oh, well, Austin said this, or, my mentors have said just to spend money, put it back into my business. Make sure it's in the right ways. But guys, you're gonna make mistakes. Don't get scared when you get hit. You're gonna take losses. Like Donald Trump. Donald Trump was once $9 billion in debt. Almost $1 billion of guaranteed personal debt. $1 billion in personal debt. Almost $9 billion in personal or business debt. And now he's a multi-billionaire. He said he walked by a homeless man on the street, and he looked at the homeless man and said, oh my goodness, the homeless man is wealthier than I am by $9 billion. He has no money. I'm $9 billion in debt. And now Donald Trump, multi-billionaire. Why is that? You gotta realize you'll take losses, you'll take L's, but don't worry about an L, because an L is nobody else's fault. It's your problem, it's your fault, it's your focus. You shouldn't be worried about what anybody else thinks about your L. Who cares about the opinions of others? If you lose an investment, if you lose money, if you hire a bad employee, if you invest in an inventory, it doesn't sell and you gotta sell it all, doesn't matter. You're gonna make L's, but learn and grow from those L's, spend that check. So I'm just ranting and raving, but it was kind of a personal issue. I see some people that make a lot of money, they don't spend that check back. Go out there, reinvest back in yourself, reinvest back into your brand and back into your education. Most important thing, back into your mindset. More books, more education, more seminars, more convention, more mentors, more everything. Guys, the average book is like $5 at a used bookstore. $5 can make you $5 million. Spend that check.